The turf is crimson, the stands are roaring, and the air crackles with the kind of energy that only a Saturday in Tuscaloosa can bring. It's September 7th, 2024, and the University of Alabama is unveiling something massive. The field at Bryant-Denny Stadium is now officially Saban Field, named after the legendary coach Nick Saban. The crowd erupts as the new signage is revealed, a tribute to a man who turned a football program into a dynasty. But why name a field after him? What makes this stadium, this hallowed ground, so special that it carries the weight of three giants? Denny, Bryant, and now Saban. Let's dive into the story of Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium, but to really get it, we've got to go back to where it all began. Chapter 1. The Birth and Growth of a Stadium. Picture this, it's 1929, and Tuscaloosa is buzzing with excitement. The University of Alabama is about to open a brand new stadium, a modest 12,000-seat venue named after George H. Denny, the university president who'd been pouring his heart into making Alabama a powerhouse. Back then, it was just Denny Stadium, built with money earned from the Crimson Tide's Rose Bowl trips in '26 and '27. These bowls, bought in serious cash, about $150,000, Denny got his chance. He spearheaded the construction of Denny Stadium, a 12,000-seat venue that cost $100,000, funded entirely by those bowl game earnings. The first game, a gritty showdown against Ole Miss on October 5, 1929. It wasn't just a stadium, it was Denny's bet on Alabama's future. But this wasn't just about football, it was about a vision to put Alabama on the map. Denny's ambition laid the foundation for something much bigger than anyone could have imagined. So how did this small stadium grow into the 8th largest in America? Let's find out what turned it into a colossus. Chapter 2. Expansion and the Rise to Prominence. Fast forward through the decades, and Denny Stadium starts to stretch its legs. Denny Stadium was a bold move, but it was just the start. By 1936, a $90,000 expansion added 6,000 seats. By 1946, they're slapping bleachers on both ends, boosting capacity to 31,000. Denny, who served as president until 1932 and stayed on as a professor until 1936, watched his creation grow. His leadership didn't just build a stadium, it transformed the university. Enrollment tripled under his watch, from 1,500 to over 4,500 students, and the football program became a point of pride. Denny's push for excellence laid the groundwork for Alabama to compete with the best, and his name on the stadium was a nod to his foresight. The 60s and 80s saw more expansions, thanks to a lanky figure that stepped off a plane in Tuscaloosa in 1958, greeted by fans desperate for a savior. Paul "Bear" Bryant, a former Alabama player from the 1930s, had returned as head coach. The program was struggling with a 2-7-1 record the year before, but Bryant was about to change everything. Over 25 seasons, he led Alabama to 6 national championships: 1961, 1964, 1965, 1973, 1978, and 1979, and 13 conference titles. His record at Alabama? A stunning 183, 46-9, with a .793 winning percentage, and by 1998, it's got 70,000 seats and a fancy new east side with skyboxes. But the real game changer comes in 2010, when an $80.6 million project pushes the capacity past 100,000, making it one of the biggest on-campus stadiums in the country. The stadium's origin story is unlike any other. From the early Rose Bowl victories to Bryant and Saban's dynasty, all of it built it to what it is today. It's one of the few major stadiums funded entirely by football success, rather than state or donor funds. Today, it holds 100,077 fans, and it's not just about size, it's about atmosphere. The place is a fortress, with the Crimson Tide racking up a 249, 51-3 record since 1929. That's an .827 winning percentage. But why did they stop playing big games in Birmingham's Legion Field and make this the true home of Alabama football? That's a story of rivalry and pride we'll get to next. Chapter 3. The Transition from Legion Field and the Walk of Champions. For years, Alabama's biggest games, think Iron Bowl clashes with Auburn, weren't even played in Tuscaloosa. They were at Legion Field in Birmingham, a bigger venue that could pack in nearly 20,000 more fans. From the 1920s to the 1980s, Legion Field was the stage for Alabama's most epic battles, especially the Iron Bowl. which was treated as a neutral site game from 1948 to 1987. But by 1998, Bryant-Denny had grown bigger than Legion Field and the Tide started moving their marquee matchups home. The Tennessee series shifted to Tuscaloosa in '99, and the Iron Bowl followed in 2000. By 2003, Alabama played its last game at Legion Field, a win over South Florida, and Bryant-Denny became the undisputed heart of Crimson Tide football. So what's it like on game days outside this beast of a stadium? Let's stomp outside where the elephants are. It's a crisp fall Saturday and the University of Alabama campus is buzzing. An hour before the game, fans swarm the Gorgas Library steps where the $1 Million Band, all 400-plus members strong, is ready to roll. Trumpets blare, drums thunder, and cheerleaders lead chants of "Roll Tide." Big Al struts out, his giant elephant head bobbing, firing up the crowd. This is the Elephant Stomp, a pep rally that's less about pom-poms and more about pure, unfiltered Alabama passion. It's where students, alumni, and die-hard fans come together to set the tone for a showdown at Bryant-Denny. So how does this party get moving? Let's hit the road. Once the band strikes up "Yay Alabama," the real fun begins. The crowd, thousands strong, spills out from Gorgas Library, forming a half-mile-long crimson and white wave toward Bryant-Denny Stadium. Fans of all ages join in, kids waving shakers, grandparents chanting "Roll Tide," and students belting out lyrics. The $1 Million Band leads the charge, their music echoing across campus while cheerleaders keep the energy sky high. It's not just a walk, it's a rolling tide of excitement, a communal ritual that binds every fan to Alabama's football legacy. But where does this parade end? Let's follow it to a special spot. The Elephant Stomp doesn't just fizzle out, it ends with a bang at the Walk of Champions Plaza, right outside Bryant-Denny. Fans stream past the bronze statues of Alabama's legendary coaches, Wallace Wade, Frank Thomas, Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, and Nick Saban, each one a reminder of the 18 national titles behind this program. The band plays one last tune, Big Al does a final dance, and the crowd roars, ready to storm the stadium. This plaza, with its larger-than-life tributes, turns the march into a pilgrimage, connecting fans to a century of Crimson Tide glory. So why does this tradition hit so hard? Let's dive into its soul. The Elephant Stomp isn't just a pre-game hype session, it's the heartbeat of Alabama football. It's where a kid in a Saban jersey feels like part of something bigger, where alumni relive their college days, and where the whole Tuscaloosa community comes alive. The tradition ties every fan to the legacy of Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. As the Elephant Stomp winds down and deafening echoes of "Roll Tide" fade away, we begin to see where champions walk. Chapter 4. Inside Bryant-Denny and the Saban Era. Imagine you're a player, stepping off the bus on game day. You're greeted by a sea of crimson and white, fans chanting "Roll Tide" as you stride down the Walk of Champions, a plaza lined with statues of Alabama's national championship coaches, Wallace Wade, Frank Thomas, Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, and now Nick Saban. Unveiled in 2011, Saban's statue celebrates his 2009 title, a 37-21 rout of Texas. The plaza isn't just a walkway, it's a shrine to Alabama's 18 national and 28 conference titles. Inside, the stadium's got it all. 163 skyboxes, premium spots like the Ivory Club, and a state-of-the-art LED light system that can flash crimson for big plays. The 2006 North End Zone expansion added 8,000 seats and massive video scoreboards, making every game feel like a spectacle. But how did one man's arrival turn this place into a dynasty's home? That's where Nick Saban comes in. The Saban legacy and honoring the past. When Nick Saban arrived in 2007, Bryant-Denny was already big, but he made it legendary. Over 17 seasons, he led Alabama to 6 national championships: 2009, 2011, 2012, 2015, 2017, and 2020. And 9 SEC titles. His home record? A jaw-dropping 108-9, even after the NCAA vacated 3 wins. Saban didn't just win games, he built a culture. He coached 4 Heisman winners, 58 All-Americans, and sent 44 players to the NFL's first round. Off the field, his Knicks Kids Foundation raised over $13 million for charities, and his players earned 656 degrees. When he retired in January 2024, the university knew they had to honor him. Denny, Bryant, and the future of the stadium. George H. Denny, the stadium's first namesake, was a visionary. As president from 1912 to 1932, he transformed Alabama into a major university, using football as a catalyst. The stadium, built for $100,000, was his brainchild, funded by Rose Bowl earnings. Then came Paul Bear Bryant, the coach who put Alabama football on the map. In 1975, while still coaching, the state legislature added his name to the stadium, a rare honor for an active coach. Bryant led the Tide to 6 national titles and 232 wins, coaching his final 7 seasons at Bryant-Denny. His legacy, like Denny's, is etched into the stadium's identity, with landmarks like Bryant Hall and the Bryant Museum. Together, Denny, Bryant, and Saban represent a century of excellence. But what does the future hold for this iconic venue? In 2018, they dropped a bombshell that shook the college football world. Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium isn't just a place, it's a living monument to Alabama's football obsession. They invested $600 million, yes, you heard that right, $600 million bucks, into upgrading their top facilities. The plan, dubbed the Crimson Standard, targeted Bryant-Denny Stadium, the Malmore Athletic Facility, and Coleman Coliseum, home to basketball and gymnastics. This isn't just a facelift, it's a complete reimagining to keep Alabama ahead of the pack. For football, it's about creating an experience that wows everyone. Players stepping onto Saban Field, recruits dreaming of crimson jerseys, and donors dropping big bucks for the best seats. A shiny new game day locker room that's more like a pro setup. But why focus so much on recruits and donors? Let's break it down. In college football, winning starts before the first snap. Alabama knows top recruits are the key to keeping Saban's dynasty alive, and the Crimson Standard is built to impress them. The new recruiting lounge at Bryant-Denny will be a showstopper, designed to make every 5-star prospect feel like they're already a champion. For donors, it's all about premium experiences, new suites and clubs that offer luxury you'd expect at an NFL stadium. These upgrades aren't just about comfort, they're about funding the program's future. More donor dollars mean more resources for coaches, facilities, and scholarships. The Crimson Standard includes a revamped lobby that screams Roll Tide Pride, a 2-level sports science center to keep players in peak condition, and a new treatment facility for recovery. The football locker room? It's getting a complete redo, with high-tech features to match the program's elite status. These upgrades are about giving players every edge, better training, faster recovery, and a space that feels like the big leagues. Alabama's betting that a top-tier facility will keep producing NFL talent. The Crimson Standard isn't just about new paint and fancy seats, it's about Alabama. Once again, doubling down on excellence. The dedication of Saban Field in 2024 wasn't just about one coach. It was a nod to every player, fan, and staff member who made Alabama a powerhouse. As new coach Kalen DeBoer takes the reins, the stadium stands ready for its next chapter, a place where history is written every Saturday. From a 12,000-seat dream in 1929 to a 100,000-seat colossus, Bryant-Denny carries the weight of tradition, triumph, and a community that lives for the cry of Roll Tide. The future is bright, and the echoes of legends past serve as a foundation for new stories of glory. The field, the stands, George Denny dreamed of a great university, Bear Bryant built a dynasty, and now the Crimson Standard is carrying that torch into the future, ensuring the tide keeps rolling for generations. The very air of Denny Bryant Stadium is charged with the energy of what's to come. This is not just a stadium, it's a testament to a century of excellence and an unwavering commitment to the game of football. Roll Tide!